Question.
Councilmember Stewart.
So where did we land? I know we adjusted this last year sometime. What projects get included in the modeling for concurrency? I know we altered the assumptions on that. I hate to put you on the spot. If you don't recall, I appreciate that.
So the projects that are in the model are the ones that are on the latest adopted tip. So that would be 19 to 24.
And do they have to be funded, or they just have to be on there? They have to have a dollar figure, or they just have to be listed?
They have to be funded because it is the model is assuming that the improvement is in place. So they have to be completely funded.
So as of right now, we wouldn't be solving the concurrency problem because Sahali isn't funded.
Sahali is funded. All I was planning to do is to take the 1.5 million because I don't have any analysis to say the design would be less than what I have started here. So what I was going to do is take the 1.5 million for row 5 and 6 and move it to 2020, but leave the rest of the cost of the project within the 6 years.
But they're not funded. They have dollar figures next to them, but we have an $88 million shortfall, and that's $53 million. That project isn't funded.
Oh, I'm sorry. So when you say funded,
that's what I
guess I'm using different terminology, and thank you for clarifying that. For the model, it takes the 6-year tip and assumes that the city will find funding to complete those projects.
Okay.
So that's how I was using the term. The way that I understand you're using it is, do we have the money, the revenue from various sources in hand, or will have in hand by the end of the 6 years, and that is what you're all discussing.
Yeah, you have to. The term in the statute in the WACS is that it's reasonably expected. The funding is reasonably expected. But I mean, everybody's sort of half right here. This is definitely a planning document. You can change it. If you adopt it tonight, you can change it tomorrow. Or you can change it as often as you want just by having a public hearing. And it is even the terms of the statute itself say this is a 6-year plan, looking forward to make sure you have that. Chris, to your point, and you're exactly right, the concurrency projects have to be included, have to be funded, have to be built within the 6 years, or we have strategies in place, that's the other provision in the statute, within 6 years, in order to satisfy concurrency and allow development to go forward. The rest of the projects on the tip, if that's what a majority of the council thinks, are in fact reasonably expected to be funded by grants, loans, and your bonding capacities. As I think Chris mentioned at the last meeting, you have around $200 million in councilmanic bonding authority. So that's plenty to be reasonably expected. Then what Cheryl's point is, the model, which is separate from the concurrency issue, takes all of these all of the TIP projects and cranks them in so you can see what it looks like if that's all built out. Doesn't mean they all will be built out. Those inputs can be changed. The model can be changed, but it's a separate issue from the concurrency.
Okay.